this After Effects tutorial, we're going to recreate this 3D glass looking NFT box. Now the template for this, along with our 3D NFT card, should be in our Patreons for the members. The link is in the description. So what I'm going to do is just create my main comp right here. Then I'm going to right click, new, solid, and I want this to be 600 by, let's say, 800. And this is just going to be my box right here, the long one. Now I want to make this box a 3D object so I can move it around in 3D space. Then I want to go to my active camera and I want to do custom view 1. Then I want to make sure my snapping is on for what I'm about to do. Then I'm going to hit Command D to duplicate this. Then if I hold down Shift Command Y, I'm going to change the width right here to 600. So this will be my bottom and my top. So if I hit R on my keyboard, I want to hit the X rotation and I just want to make it a minus 90. And I'm just going to drag this and snap it on at the bottom. Then I'm going to hit Command D to duplicate it. And I want this to be my top right here. And now I want to duplicate the last one. And I just want to snap it right here. And then I'm going to duplicate this again. Hit R on the keyboard. And I want the rotation Y to be 90. And I'm going to snap it right here. Just trying to make a complete box. Hit Command D again. And now we have our full box right here. Now to test it out, I'm going to right click, new, camera, click OK. And then if I hit C on the keyboard, it'll bring up my orbit tool and I can orbit around this. Now to see this in a better light, let's right click, new, light. And then I want to duplicate this light, just add some more angles. Now after that, I'm going to go to my boxes. I'm going to select them all, hit T on the keyboard, and I want the opacity to be, let's say, 50% to make it more of a glass feel. And then let's put something in the middle. I'm going to click on my polygon tool right here, and I'm just going to drag a rectangle shape. Now if you don't have a rectangle shape, just hit the up arrow keys on your keyboard, and I just want to have a 3 point for my triangle. And then I want to make it a 3D object right here. Now I want this shape right here to be in a pre-comp, so I can make whatever I want out here will be right in here. Now after I made it into a pre-comp, you have to make sure you hit this. Now I'm going to double check to make sure it's centered by going to the 4 view right here. And I'm just going to align it up in my box. Now after that, I'm going to go back to my view right here and my active camera. I want to go back to my default view. And if I go into this rectangle, now I do want some more abstract 3D depth to this right here. So what I'm going to do is I want to make sure my anchor point right here, this thing is in the middle. So let me not make this a 3D object. Put this in the middle, make it a 3D object. I want to go to my 4 view and let's duplicate this, Command D. And let me push it back in 3D space. Hit S on the keyboard. I'm going to make the size 70. Command D again. I'm going to make the size 40 and make sure I put it back in 3D space. Now if we go back to our first view and we go back to our main comp and I hit C on the keyboard to bring up my orbit tool, I can see it's not working, and the reason that is because my rasterize tool was not turned on. So make sure you have that on for that. Now I want to center this in the middle. So now I have my triangles right here, and I want to do the next step is adding a glow. So stylize glow, and I'm just going to drag it on, and I'm going to make the glow radius, bump it up a bit, just play around with this. And then I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it onto my box. So my box is going to be glowing now. Now the next thing I'm going to do is right click, new, adjustment layer, and I'm going to go to effects and preset, and I'm going to put in shine on it. Now if you don't have shine, we're going to try another way to get around it, but for this example we're going to use shine, and then I'm just going to have it at electric. Now I want this to be active camera. I'm going to right click, new, null object, and I want this null object to be a 3D layer. And then I want the camera to follow this. So if I hit R on the keyboard, I'll be able to control the camera through this null right here. So I'm going to hit S on my keyboard, and I'm going to scale this back a bit. and then hit R, and I'm gonna put a timestamp right here, and I just want this to move side to side, so minus 45, and this will be plus 45. And then I want to go down 10 frames, and I want to copy and paste this here, and then I want to hit N on the keyboard so it'll match my end and out point. Then I want to select my keyframes, right click, keyframe assistance, and add an easy ease on it. Then go to the graph editor tool and make sure your edit speed graph is right here. And now I'm just going to edit this like so. Now your graph editor should look like this, and I'm going to click this to go back. These keyframes I want to squish together a little more. Now how I did that is hold down Option, select the furthest keyframe, and I can scale them all. Now so far we should have this 3D looking thing, and I want it to look a little more realistic, the glass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my lights right here, and I just want to pull them back a little. Now for my rectangle in the middle, I want to duplicate the glow to make it more obvious. Now if we really want to have fun with these triangles, let's make it do an animation inside this turning box. So if I go to the beginning of the keyframe, click on the triangles, and then for the positions, I'm just going to put it right here, a timestamp. And then if I go back, I want to make sure the timestamp is exactly the same right here. So I'm going to put another timestamp here. And then if I go back, and for the middle, I want it to do something here, I'm just going to animate something here. So let's go to the 4 view right here, and I want this one to be all the way back where this small one is. Let's say we want the small one to be up here, and this one will be just up here, like so. Now I'm going to go back to my first view, select the keyframes, right click, and I'm just going to put an easy ease on it, go to my graph editor, and I'm just going to do the same type of shape pattern. Now we should have something like this, and you can't see much, but if we go back to the main comp, we can see it in our live 3D space. Now to add design to the boxes, we can just go to the first one, right click, pre-comp it, and then I want to select this layer, and I want to select the ellipse tool right here, and I'm just going to create a little dot right here, and I'm going to duplicate it, bring it right here, try to get it symmetrical, and I'm just going to duplicate what I did at the top down to the bottom, and then I'm going to select it all, hit T on the keyboard. Let's make the opacity 50, and then I'm going to hit S on the keyboard, make it 50 if I want to size it down a bit. And now if we go back to our main comp, we should have some better looking design on it. It almost starts making it look more like a 3D box. Now another cool design is we could make the edges have a little white on them by going into the pre-comp, right clicking, new, solid, make sure it's the same width and height, and then hit Shift Command N on the keyboard, and then it'll create this mask right here, and we want to put a stroke on it, and then we want the stroke to be like maybe 10, and we want this to be on transparent. And now here is our box. Now I'm going to copy this box right here. I'm going to go to the main comp, and I'm going to apply it to the rest of them. So right here, just right click, pre-comp. Maybe set this right here to, let's say 50. Let's go back. Now that style should look something like this, but I think I like the other one better. Now if you don't have this shine effect right here, let's disable it. Another way around it is we can just disable shine. You can go in here and you can type in glow. Now this is not a plugin, it's the default in After Effects. And you can mess around with this, try to get it as similar as possible as the shine effect. And here's a rough draft of what it could look like using this instead of using shine right here. Now if you want your triangles to be more rounded, we can go to Content, Polygon, Stroke, and then make sure this is round cap and this one as well. And here we have it's rounded. Now we can make this look even cooler if we go to the star tool right here, and let me just make some random shape, make it a 3D object, go to my 4 view, and I can just scatter it around in 3D space. And now we should have something like this. And if you want to change something in the middle that we have in our template in the Patreon, all you got to do is go in here and just put whatever you want, then go back in the main comp, and it should be in the middle.